Yo, what up, guys? Brief here, and it's this season to be merry and jolly. But in Raid Shadow Legends, we are still being pit against each other to compete in tournaments like this one that is coming up that will give us a sort of good reward, I guess. So a champion chase tournament is coming up. It is not part of the Gnishak Vermilord fusion at all. It is on its own, so you don't need to do it if you're going for that fusion. Now in this video, I want to take a look at the rewards that have been provided as part of this tournament for players who are going to participate in it and win first position. So depending on where you are in the game, your account level will determine the type of reward you get. So I want to take a look at the champions first of all. If you decide, or I will help you decide whether they are even worth going for. So the first time is when you decide the champion is good, and then you decide whether you have the resources for it. So that's two things. Deciding the champion is good enough for you to go for it is one thing, but knowing whether you have enough resources to win it, not just attempt and stop halfway and get overtaken. To know, I'll also check through my resources to know if I have enough to go for this type of a tournament. So it will coincide with the 2x on Void. That is on Friday 23rd. That's when the tournament will start, and it will end on Monday. So any shard you pull, whether you get a rare, epic or legendary, will determine how many tournament points you get. That's how champion chase works. So rare champions will give you less points, epic champions will give you about 250 points, while legendary champion will give you about 500 points. Of course, Void, epic, rare or legendary will give you a little bit more points than the other normal affinity ones. So we'll wait to see how your tournament leaderboard will be before you begin to push. So let me head over to my in-game to find out which champions that are currently being advertised as part of these rewards that are going to be given to players who come up first position. The first champion is Jingle Hunter. I should have checked the affinity. I have a bad time finding this champion's affinity, but I'm going to guess he's High Elves faction, an epic champion from the High Elves. I think he have those ears. Yes, I was right about that. Jingle Hunter is a champion in Raid Shadow Legends that is kind of a meme. Yes, besides the name just being Jingle Hunter, he does hit hard. I'll give you that. He does hit hard. I'll see if he has the right here. Attacks one enemy, has a 90% chance of placing freeze debuff on all enemies for 1 turn if this attack kills an enemy. So if he kills somebody who is already low HP, he will most likely place this freeze on all other enemies on the team. Now he's best known for his aura. I don't want to even talk about his ability or anything. Newer players who coming into the raid, if you are level 1 to level 30, this is the champion that will be in your tournament leaderboard as the first position slot. A lot of people who don't have high cartoon yet use this champion in the leader slot, and because of this increased speed in all arena battles by 24 is even higher than high cartoons increased speed aura right there. That is why a lot of people use him in the leader slot in the arena. Then you have your decreased defense War Maiden, and then you have your maybe Apothecary more speed boosting, and then you have your Kale doing the nukes. So he comes in there mostly because of this increase and speed aura right there. Unfortunately, it's only for arena, so it doesn't feature in other places. This champion is also extremely kind of squishy, 14k HP, and when it built with all that attack and crit damage and all that, he doesn't survive long in battle. But it can be a nuisance when he places this freeze after killing one person. Let's say Kale did not finish up the work, he can go in there and finish it up. So that's what is used for in early game, mostly for that speed aura. So on the A3 though, attacks all enemies, decreases turn meter by 20% if this attack is critical. Yes, so you want him built with crit. Fills the champion turn meter by 10% if this attack is also critical. He will boost his own turn meter also. A1, which has a decreased speed, 40% chance to land it when booked up to 50%. So mostly I've known this champion for only that speed aura. So despite me reading out his A1, A2 and A3, I still like that speed aura of 24 in all arena battles. At that level of the game, you will be faster than everybody. That's basically, if you get the champion in your leader slot, you'll be faster than most of your peers in that level 1 to 30 stages of the PvP arena, 1v1 arena. All right, so is it worth going for Jingle Hunter? That's the first question. If you're level 1 to 30, the answer is no. You have far more better things to do than a champion to only boost your arena speed. That's what I'm telling you. You have Dragon to beat. You have Clambus teams to get set up. You have Minotaur scrolls to farm. Those places are worth spending your resources on. And another thing is you don't even have enough void shards to say you want to go for it. Fine, a lot of people in your bracket might not even go for it. So if you find that your bracket nobody is going for it and you have 1 or 2 void shards, that will be enough to win champion chase. I doubt that. You can go for it, but don't go extra hard trying to pull your ancient shard. Don't go extra hard trying to pull your secret shard for Jingle Hunter. That's the advice I'll give to level 1 to 30 players, and I guess that same advice will apply all the way to level maybe the second champion, who is Frostbringer. Now I know this champion says she's the Frostbringer, but we're still yet to see the Frost. I guess she's from the Secret Order because she's also a meme in Rage Legends. But due to the fact that this is a Christmas period and they are well built, or their character design is kind of in line with the Christmas spirit, that's why they are being put as part of rewards. It's not like they are great champions to be used. Their character design just gravitates or is revolving around Christmas theme. So that's why they are currently being given as a reward right here. So again, this champion is not that great, but I'll tell you what she's best known for. Her best skill in Rage Legends that a lot of people use her for, she's a support champion. That's first thing you should know about her. Increase speed and increase attack on all allies on a 4-turn cooldown is not that great. Well, I think it's actually great. I wanted to say 3-turn cooldown is better, but when you have these 2 skills right here in one champion, it's great. I'll give you that. She only needs to use it once in battle for your allies to go in there and deal huge damage and go faster than the enemies. So that's one that is, I think, is useful on the A3. On the A2, this champion attacks 3 times at random, decrease defense for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. A lot of people prefer to use War Maiden or other champions who have AoE decrease defense, not on 3 random targets, right? So you don't want 3 people to just have decrease defense. You want the entire enemy wave to have decrease defense. That's another reason why a lot of people don't want to use her in battle. They prefer to go farm up a rare champion who can place consistent decrease defense on all the allies than this one that will just do it on only 3. On all the enemies, than this one that do it on only 3 enemies. But still, against bosses, it's useful. 3-turn, it's useful. So book to 100%. And another reason is you don't want to use an epic champion who will require so many books to get this thing to 3-turn cooldown than a rare champion who would require just easy to obtain books. That's another reason why people don't want to use her for decrease defense. They prefer to use a War Maiden. So you see, that's the comparison that I'm doing right now between a Frostbringer and why she's not that used in raid. It's not like she's bad or anything. It's just that people prefer to spend their books on other better epics than a Frostbringer. So attacks 2 times at random, has a 30% chance of placing heal reduction. 100% heal reduction is useful, but this is a 30% chance booked up to a 50% chance of landing it in early game when you're trying to beat that magic affinity boss. Is it magic? No, it's actually spirit affinity boss in the potion keep that keeps healing himself. She might be able to place this and make him not be able to heal himself. That's the only useful place I can find heal reduction being used right now in raid, at least in the early game, because at that early game you don't even want to use this skill in this new Sand Devil Necropolis, where heal reduction is actually useful these days. So it's not a good place to even use it. So on an aura, will it make anything better? Increase defense in dungeons 30. Wow, that's a huge aura. I see a lot being used in the arena as increased attack, increased speed, but I forgot that she's actually a dungeon champion. And yeah, this is actually a useful aura. 33% in dungeon is huge. Even Apothecary has what, 20% or 25% increased defense. So even Terraria has less increased defense than this, but their own is maybe in all battles also. She's only restricted to dungeon. This champion might be useful for faction wars, but again, I'll tell you the verdict. If you're level 31 to 50, this will be the champion that will be in your leader slot if you come up first place, and she's not worth it. Yes, I know I just hyped her a little bit, told you maybe, but no, she's not worth it. I made comparisons and why she's not that great. But of course, I like this A3 because of Arena, but that's not where a lot of people will use her. Okay, the next champion is Glacier Soulguard. Now, this is not a champion I know about. So where can I find this champion? Is it a legendary or an epic? Glacier Soulguard. From the name, will it be also in Secret Order? So I was right. She's actually from the Secret Order faction. Glacier Soulguard is kind of new to raid. She was released this year and a lot of people liked her character design, huge angel wings, kind of different from what they normally do. And yeah, because these are fallen angels, I guess. She's a champion. I do not know much about her apart from when she was released, when I checked out her kit and forgot all about her. I don't own this champion, but let's check out right there that she places weaken on all enemies, also steals one random buff from each enemy under a freeze debuff. So she's also related to the frost. On her A3, she placed block debuff buff on all allies for 2 turns and a 60% chance of placing freeze debuff on all enemies, booked to 80% chance of placing it. Fills her turn meter by 50% for each freeze debuff she plays. That means she'll take turn again, most likely, because she'll get a high turn meter increase after she freezes them, I guess. So she brings the freeze. She also benefits from the freeze from her A2 because she will steal a random buff from them if they are under freeze. I don't get it. Also steals one random buff from each enemy under freeze. If they are under freeze, why would you need to steal a buff from them? So you can do more damage. Generally, freeze is not a good way of controlling enemies because they take less damage when they are frozen. This champion's skill cannot be put on cooldown whenever enemies tries to put either this skill on or an ally skill on cooldown. She places freeze on them instead. 50% chance of denying the cooldown increase effect. The freeze debuff cannot be blocked or resisted. Will not deny cooldown increased effects from bosses. That's a passive which she benefits again from all these freeze, so her skills cannot be put on cooldown. That's a complicated one, but it doesn't have like a one-turn cooldown or anything. It will always happen. So this is a great support champion, I guess, if you're going against a freeze comp or if you're trying to build one. So on the A1 also places freeze debuff, 30% chance. So everything is about her is freeze, unlike this other Frostbringer that brings no frost. Alright, Glacier Soul Guard. I guess if you're level 51 to level 51 to 70, which the noob to pro is on this range of level on the game right now. So this is the champion we will see as our reward in the noob to pro. But we will be going for this champion on that account? Hell no. We are still pushing forward to this fusion champion that is currently going on for Vermin Lord. So we'll focus all our attention on that and we'll pay no attention to this. Although we'll be pulling a void shard on Friday, yes, watch out for that video, but it will not be for the purpose of getting this champion. Maybe we'll get 5 legendaries and get her. I don't know. The next champion is Gogor the Ugo. That champion is from the Ogrin tribes and is one that I also do not own on my account. I'm looking forward to owning him, a legendary champion right there, and he's known for placing freeze also. I come across this champion a lot in the Doom Tower where he makes my life difficult. If you're frozen, it goes in there and hits you. You're like, how can the champion, I'm frozen and you're doing so much damage to me? So it doesn't only bring freeze, it also hits extremely hard. Let me find out the freeze skill first of all. This one, no, that's not it. I think this is the freeze skill. Removes 2 random buffs from all enemies. He will remove, yes, that's a cleanse. Well, he doesn't steal it at least. And a 80% chance of placing freeze, booked to 100% chance of placing freeze, grants an extra turn. That's what I'm talking about. He will freeze you and then go grant an extra turn. The extra turn right here, that's it. Places an extra hit if this target has a freeze debuff. So you hit you 2 times if you have freeze on you. So I'm speaking from experience of taking so much damage from him. I don't have experience of actually using him in battle, but it's one that I try to kill first in the enemy team because of that big hit he does, and that cleanse. He will remove my buff that I have on myself so that he can even freeze you. That's a strange one. He places an extra hit if the target has freeze on the A1 also. On the passive, has a 50% chance of placing freeze debuff on the attacker for 1 turn if this champion loses more than 20% of their max HP. So he doesn't only freeze on the A2, his passive can also freeze you. So he can now go in there with the A3 and hit you extremely hard. So he's a champion that I see a lot in, well, not so much in PvP, but he's viable in that content because he will, with enough accuracy, he will remove those buffs that you have on your enemies. But hey, he doesn't remove all buffs, he only removes 2 buffs from them, right? Yes, only 2 random buffs. So A void affinity champion, that means he will be good against any affinity, anyone you come across. He's one that I hope to get soon and use in general content. It's not a champion I hope to use in PvP, although when people see him, they're like, oh, I don't want to go against him. He's one that people like to fear in raid. So if you're level 71 to 90, which is not where my account is, you will get this champion in your tournament leaderboard. All right, that's Gugor, the Ugo Ogrin Tribes faction champion. It will be awesome for that content also. Now to the main event, the man of the moment, the one that everybody has been waiting for. Tormin the Cold, a dwarfs faction champion, and he speaks for himself, because no matter who you are in the arena, whether you're in bronze 1 or you're in gold 5, you have come across this champion in Raid Shadow Legends. Yes. Even if you're not finding it in PvP content, you've come across it in PvE content, especially in the Doom Tower waves, where he just comes in there, not 1 but 2, sometimes 3 copies, and makes your life hell. Tormin the Cold is known for freezing you if you boost your turn meter or place a buff on yourself, right? That's it. 20% chance of placing freeze debuff on each enemy each time they receive a buff or have their turn meter filled. So if you go in against this champion and try to boost with a arbiter, that's a 20% chance that you will get frozen, or all those allies will get turn meter filled will get frozen. Also, the increased attack that you're placing from your arbiter, that's also another chance to get frozen, right? The 20% chance applies up to twice per enemy. You see, turn meter field, increased attack, that's twice. Once for buffs, once for turn meter fields, in case where an enemy receives multiple of those effects here. So I was right about that. Turn meter field and buff will just apply 20%. Of course, you can always increase this chance by booking this champion to a 30% chance each, and then of course the masteries that can boost it to happen a lot. Does not work with effects from artifact sets. I mean, turn meter filling effect on masteries and all that. So Tormin also has a weird one. I'm looking for it. Revives this champion by 100% when he's killed, places freeze debuff on him. So if you kill him, he'll just come back to life. So you have to actually kill this champion twice. He counts as one of those champions you cannot one shot in raid, except you place block revive on him or something. So that's Tormin. Fortunately for you, this skill is on a long cooldown of 5 when you book it, right? Yes. No. 6 turn cooldown when you book it, so it's not something that will happen a lot, especially that to revive in battle. You only need to kill him twice and then he will not be able to do it again, except he's a very, very fast one. This champion is best known for being used in PvP content, but he will work just great in PvE content. For his other skills, he removes all buffs from a target and then hits them hard. He will ignore defense of the target if they're under freeze and HP burn debuff. So that's those 2 conditions right there are not often met. So the only thing he does is just goes there and hits twice. But if you want him to ignore defense and hit extremely hard, place freeze and HP burn on them before he can use this skill. That will benefit him a great deal. Alright, on the A3, Tormin places a block buff debuff, heal reduction, also has a provoke right there. 60% chance of landing it can be booked up to a 80% chance. Decrease the cooldown of a random skill for each ally by 1 turn for every enemy attacked under freeze and HP burn. Also another condition right there that has to do with HP burn. So it has a synergy to do with HP burn, not just freeze. It has to be on the enemies before he can benefit a great deal from this champion. But a lot of people don't bring an HP burn champion to the battle along with him. But if you do, you will have awesome rewards to reap from this champion. So a lot of people just rely on him for this passive that will freeze and when enemies do their turn meter field. So when you see those speed arbiter teams, you're like, oh, I'm not fast enough for them. Bring a Tormin. That's why I want this champion so bad. So the question is, will I be going for this level 91 to level 100 reward? Let's head over to my account and check if I have what it takes to make it happen. So where I'm heading towards is the first place that you have to check, of course, if you're going for such a champion chase, is a fragment summons. So I've checked right now, I have about 2,000 points sitting right here 3 legendary champions and 2 epics to open or fuse, whatever they call it. So one of them is a void, so about 2150 points, I think. So that's the total I can get from all my saved up fragments so far. And then the void shard, if I'm going to be pulling I already told you yesterday in a video that I was not going to be pulling my void shard, but if I do pull voids from 50 void shard, I'm expecting at least 4 epic champions. I'm not saying legendaries now. 4 epics, that's about what? 1,000 points. That additional 3,150 points or so that I've gained so far by pulling what I'm supposed to pull. And then, depending on how hard my opponents are going, if I want to pull my ancient shards or my secret shards, how many epics and or legendaries will I get from that? An additional 2,000 or additional 3,000 points? So in total, I'm looking at close to 4,000 or 5,000. No, additional 4,000 points. Close to 8,000 points from my free-to-play saved up resources to see if I can obtain torment and win that tournament that is counting down right now that will come up. Champion Chase Tournament. So that's my initial maths that I'm doing. So is torment worth me draining all my resources to get him? Because I'm going to use him in PvP? Hell no. I'm not saying he's an awesome champion. He's a great champion that I love to own. But I'm saying he's a champion that I will get naturally soon by pulling shards on a normal 2x or guaranteed event or something like that. This is not the time for me to drain all my resources to get him. Now, if I see in my tournament group that everybody's chilling at 500 points, 1,000 points, maybe by Monday, if they are still at 1,000 points, I'll do it. But nobody is going to be chilling at that point because a lot of people have saved up resources just like I do, and they'll pull it on the first day and start getting 3,000 points, 5,000 points. I'm not even pulling my void shards. So a lot of people who have 100 void shards or 200 void shards saved up will go hard for this event, Champion Chase, and try to get torment. Especially those who don't have it, like I've been playing for over almost 3 years and not even obtained him yet. So some people are serious about PvP content and want him, especially against those speed boosting teams that you know you cannot be faster than. He comes in there, places them in freeze, and makes you go in there and do some damage. So he's a champion that is totally worth going for. But from the free-to-play angle, I'll be totally ignoring this one until I see the leaderboard slot to see if anybody is going for it or not. That's my verdict on this champion that have been released. Hopefully this is useful to newer players who are looking at Jingle Hunter and Freeze and Frostbringer thinking, I want it. No, you don't. Go farm the campaign. Go farm your Minotaur grind or something. And for those looking at Glacier Soulguard and Gogor the Ogre, you know now that they are great, but depending on whether you're a whale or you're totally free to play, you're best saving your resources for 2x events, not a champion chase tournament like this that you don't know your opponent's cards. Anyways, watch out for that though. If your opponents are slacking behind, go in there, summon your shards and win it because you will not spend a lot of resources. Let me know what you decide about this one and which tournament groups do you belong to. Like I said, the Noob Pro will be ignoring this one. I'll see you guys later in the evening for a update from the Noob Pro series about the Vermin Lord fusion, where we are so far. Hit that like button for me this video if it helps you out. If it helps you out, and of course, let me know in the comments below what you think about this champion that I released. Later, guys.